Welcome back to another episode of Consciously Clueless, the podcast that teaches you how to live a healthier lifestyle that makes you and the planet happier. The world is changing quickly. Sometimes it feels like you can't keep up. I hear you. You want to make the world a better place, you care, but you don't know where to start. You know taking care of yourself is important, but how? I get it. I have a history of diving into a new endeavor seeking perfection and quickly feeling like I failed. Whether it was going vegan or learning how to recycle more, I wish I had guidance to keep me on track and not overwhelmed. I can't lie, the world needs your help. But it doesn't need you to be perfect. This podcast is here to help. Here we go. On today's solo episode, I have a guest, and I'm going to for the next few weeks. Once a month, Calen Otto and I are going to dispel myths about sustainable and vegan living in bite-sized pieces, so shorter episodes for you to absorb. Enjoy! We are back, and I am really excited to be talking with you, Calen, because last time we talked, we realized we had 48 million other conversations to have.
Yeah, and so let's just sit down and have them. You are the second person on my podcast, only the second, who has come back again, because I feel like our energy works so well together. And when we talk about these topics, it's like very nuanced, which is sometimes hard for people. And I really appreciate that. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well. And I'm honored to be one of two people asked to come back on the podcast.
Woohoo!
I think that I would agree that being able to have these conversations and it be nuanced and not have someone get defensive, but just be able to talk about things that are hard and things that we've experienced is so comforting. And I hope that's comforting for listeners to know that I think both of us at this point, it seems, can be like nothing but brutally honest in life.
Yeah, because I feel like you don't really get that on social media as much. And honestly, I've been taking more of a break from social media lately, but I feel like podcasts are the perfect place. You can hear inflection in people's voices, and we can be like, whoa, wait, what do you mean by that? And actually go into it. So thanks to everyone for listening too.
Yeah, truly. So last time we got into it.
Yeah, and that podcast episode did really well for me in terms of listeners. So I know it's something that people want to talk about. So we're going to get into it more today. And if you didn't catch the last episode, Carly and I were talking about this company that we got reusable period underwear from because we thought it was like a really good thing to do, a more sustainable option. And
it was all those things.
It was, and there was a little bit of a scandal. So we talk about that in that episode and how it's complicated to live as sustainably as possible in this world that we're in today. So we're going to go into that even more today with some other topics such as travel and the holidays coming up and all of those things.
Yeah, I think a good place to start then in terms of stuff and holidays, which I know are things in terms of stuff, we're all inundated, and the holidays, right? Like as soon as Halloween was over, November 1st came and the internet was like, Black Friday and the holidays are here. Tell your friends.
Buy everything.
Everything. And I just am overwhelmed by it, but I feel bad for folks truly who are interested in caring for the planet. They're like, yeah, I get it. I should do that. And then are inundated with all of the shit they should buy to do that. And then you hear people saying, buy less. And I think that can be hard sometimes because you're like, I have to buy some stuff. I can't avoid purchasing altogether. We're in 2023 in late stage capitalism. Pretty hard to do that. And also, how do I do that in a way that's more conscious? Those lines can be confusing, I think.
Yeah, especially in a world where so many things are greenwashed and you have a hard time figuring out what the truth is about a product or a business. And yeah, I've noticed that too. I do think, though, we're in this era now, though, which is really scary to me, actually, where it does ramp up the advertisements and the stuff when holidays come, but it is all year long and it's targeted ads.
Yeah.
I was thinking about cleaning my ears the other day and, how do I do it better? I did one Google search to see if those candle things actually worked, if they were healthy. And then I got all these ads for something I didn't need. And to be honest, I almost bought it.
It kept coming up and you're like, yes, no.
Yes. So the first thing I want to say, which I reminded myself is a valuable tip when this starts to happen, is give yourself 48 hours. Yeah. Because 2 hours later, I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad I didn't buy that. I did not need it. But had I done that on the spot, yeah, I would have been regretting that instantly, I think.
Yeah, totally. It is such a good idea, unless you're buying like toilet paper and food, right? Like I think people try and poke holes in some of these conversations. It's, I'm not telling you to wait 48 hours before you buy toilet paper. A sustainable one, but that's another thing. But when you're thinking of buying these things that you do not need in that moment, truly, like being honest with yourself, if you can wait a few days, sometimes I just forget. I forget I even wanted the thing. Yep. And that avoids me spending unnecessary money and then having this contraption or thing off of Instagram or Amazon or wherever else it is that goes in a drawer and was like a complete waste of time.
Hey there, it's me. If you're digging this conversation so far around conscious living in this episode and you're feeling inspired to make change, that's literally why I'm here. If you want sustainable ways to be sustainable, you hear eco-friendly or green and wonder if you're doing it right. You want to make your diet more earth-friendly by going vegan. You want to live a more connected life, but you're not even sure what that means. No judgment. It is possible to feel excited about making changes to make a difference in the world every single day with your choices, to go vegan and stay vegan without feeling like you're missing anything, or to learn how to make good choices for the planet without feeling stressed. I help folks who are ready to make changes in their life that support their health and the world around them through supportive coaching, practical education, and steps that make you enjoy the process. If that's you, email me at consciouslycarly@gmail.com and let's chat. Back to the episode.
That you forget about, you have to throw away one day or try to regift and you spent your hard-earned money on, which I think that one approach to the holidays and all the stuff that we're bombarded with that really for me this year feels good and feels true is I am not buying anything for anyone. And it's not like a hard and fast rule. It's just where I've come to. I'm like regifting books that I think close friends would really like that really meant something to me. I'm gonna like maybe take my partner out to go rock climbing for the first time. So I'm like experiences to people and things that I've either made, like I really like to actually take up. I like every year I have this really cool planner that has beautiful quotes and pictures in it, and I cut it up and I make envelopes for my friends, and you can put like a love letter inside. And so I'll be doing those things, and I'm also asking people to do those things for me because it really is stressful for me. I'm realizing like to get a bunch of things that I don't need that were well-intentioned. So I'm like, trying not to hurt your feelings because you gave it to me, but also I'm actually not really going to use it. So I feel like I need to hold on to it, but I actually don't want to. And I've realized that by sharing those intentions with people around you, hey, I actually get a massage every month. And instead of getting me a gift, do you want to just give me a gift certificate? Because that's something I really enjoy. And just talking to people in my life. Oh, take me out for dinner. I've really wanted to go to this place, or let's go. I think that's been, really helpful for me. I've saved a lot of money, probably thousands of dollars in the last few years.
True.
How do you feel about that? Is there something that has changed for you in the past few years?
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that because I've realized now, I start to feel anxious around the holidays, and not because I've had any trauma around the holidays or that I don't enjoy. It's like nothing other than I get anxious about potential stuff. And it's gotten better, I think, because people in my life are like, Carly's not on board. I'm like, but I do feel bad sometimes when you get gifts that people use their money to spend money on you. And you're like, I didn't ask for this and I won't use it. And you shouldn't have wasted your money and time. Like we all could just have a conversation about what we need. I love that. I do get a monthly massage. So if anybody listening is wondering what I need, take a month. That's such a great idea. I've love that idea. I think a good way to think about it in terms of purchasing stuff or gifts is, do you need it? And do they need it? Do we need these things? If so, can you buy it from a cool company? If there is a needed thing, if somebody wants XYZ and they say that, can you get it secondhand, or can you get it from a sustainable company?
Or can you make it yourself? Sometimes
Can you make it yourself? Can you make it? Is it a candle? I made candles one year for every single person in my life at Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. It was more work than I thought, but it was really rewarding, and it didn't cost me that much. It was jars from the thrift shop and mugs and soy milk. It was really, that was really fun. And then also the experience thing. That is such a huge one. And I think about it more and more. I've shared online, and we were talking before this just about how I've personally been experiencing a lot of grief in my life. And that has made me think so much about, I don't want shit from people. I want to see you. I want to hear from you. I want to be around. I want to do something with you that I can look back on the pictures that we did this thing and go, oh my gosh, I'm not going to think about that from like some shirt.
Yeah.
Intentioned, of course. This is not to shit on people who want to buy gifts because that's their love language, which is hard.
Yeah.
But I would much rather just be around those people that I care about, or at least do something, give them something, or give me something that brings joy.
Yeah. And not stress. I think something that we should ask ourselves, like all of us, is like, why am I giving people gifts?
Yeah.
And if for me, it's usually to show love and be in the spirit of the holiday. And it's like, showing love is not giving you something that you're going to be stressed out about. So how can I do that in a way that feels really good for both of us? And I think there's definitely ways to do it. And another thing is that, I don't know if you do this because I know you travel too, but if I'm going on a trip at the end of the year and there's one thing that I really need for that trip, I will save it in the back of my mind. And then I'll be like, Mom, if you are going to get me something, this one thing I really need and I really will use, and you can get it used here, or you can give me the money for it or whatever. That's something I do too. Stockpile what I'm going to need and then actually ask people for those things, because I was going to buy them anyways. You might
and if somebody in your family's, I want to buy you something. What can I give you? And you're like, here's something I need. I do this. I understand that completely. Yeah. 2 or 3 years ago, I wanted a different travel backpack. I did 1,000 hours of research because what else would I do? And I found this bag that I really wanted at REI. And I just sat on it for a bit. And my mom was like, okay, is there anything you want for Christmas? I'm like, funny, you should ask. And then I got something that I now use literally every day. I use it as my gym bag, and then I travel with it. And then it's the most like used gift I've gotten in so long because I knew I needed it.
And it's special. Like when you get that gift and you're like, oh, I actually use it. And then you probably think your mom, oh my God, I'm so thankful she got this for me.
Yep.
I just think it's more meaningful, but it does take time to kind of deprogram your brain from just being like, buy, buy, buy. This year I asked my mom, because she'll get me things here and there during the year, and it's not always my style, or it doesn't fit, or like it's like something like that's cool, but I won't actually use it, all with great intentions. So this year I was like, maybe just keep a list of every time you were going to buy me something and how much it was, and then just give me that cash at the end of the year. Like, I'll pay off bills, I'll put it for gas money. That would make me feel even more excited. So just some ideas for people.
I think that's helpful, and it takes the pressure off, because I know another thing we want to talk about is the idea of living sustainably, meaning you need wealth to do.
Yeah.
And there is pressure on people during the holidays to spend money, and why spend it on shit that no one cares about?
That's going to go to the landfill.
That's literally going to go sit in the ground.
If you're hearing this message, you've listened to the entire episode of Consciously Clueless, and for that, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this new episode, and if you did, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or tag me and share in social media. Share this episode with others who may be interested in this topic. To get more resources, influence on topics covered, and bonus content, join the Consciously Clueless community over on Patreon at patreon.com/consciouslycarly. And don't forget, if you need help living more consciously, let's work together. Email me today. See you next Wednesday for a new episode.